live on the gram. All right. Facebook. Yes, indeed. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back and we are live. It is the awesome show. We have some special guests here today. We are going all the way out to New Chipotle. We're heading out to Weisenberg. We got some awesome guests out here today. We are joined here by today's first off, the Zimmerman. We got Jason and Eli Zimmerman. Gentlemen, Eli and Jason, how you guys feeling today?
How else can we feel but awesome?
All right. All right. You like that, Jason? I like that. You're not no rookie out here. You did not come out here on no rookie stuff. You came out here correct. There's only one feeling, gentlemen. You are on the awesome show. There is only one feeling that you can have out here today. Eli, how are you feeling, baby?
I'm feeling awesome, man. Here we go.
Baby, he's feeling awesome out here. Like I said, man, we have an awesome show lined up here today. We have Jason and Eli Zimmerman from Northwestern to start off the show here today. I mean, a lot of success is going on out there in New Chipotle area, out there in Northwestern. A lot of success is going on out there. We're going to start off with you there, Eli, man. Eli, obviously a senior player out there. Eli, first of all, tell me a little bit, man. How is it walking through those halls down there at Northwestern? You know, you're a 3-star athlete. You got the football playing, you got the basketball, you got the baseball. Tell us a little bit about that, Eli, man. How was that life out there as a 3-sport athlete at Northwestern?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. Going into school, just knowing that you're one of the guys that, contributed to this state title run for the football team and play other sports and people look up to you. It's a great feeling. We're still riding high on that state championship right now. And I know it's definitely been a hard one this week to get focused back on school because, we still want to be playing football right now.
No doubt. I mean, you're getting riled up. What you got? You got hoop action, got a big game out there tomorrow. Who you guys playing tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow we got Catasauqua at Caddy. Going to be a big game. The basketball team I know has been looking forward to this, finally getting to play after the football guys have held them up a little while. So, we're ready to compete tomorrow. I'll tell you that. Okay. All right. Go Zim, man. How you feeling out here today? My guy, you're the staple of Northwestern out there. I mean, you've been out there for a minute. You've been out there since in New Chipotle when they only had one traffic light. Now they got two, or I think they got three now. They got 3 traffic lights out there now. So I mean, tell us about this growth, this massive growth of Northwestern since you've been there.
Toomey, I've been at Northwestern so long. Okay, I remember when a young man on this show went out to Lower Merion and played in a game versus Chester as a freshman. And remember how that crowd erupted to him when you got in that game when Coach Fatzinger put you in there, baby. That's how long I've been. Yeah, I don't want to date you, but I was pretty much fresh. You remember? You still get the chills.
You see me getting a little amped up out there. I gotta let the people know since you brought it up there, Jason. I didn't want to have to bring out the old school tune, but since you asked about old school tune, we'll take it back to 1996. The Parkland Trojans, the first time they've ever entered the state playoffs, And who was their freshman point guard out there? They had a freshman point guard out there by the name of Toomey Anderson. And I mean, he was only a freshman at this time, Eli. So, we had some big studs out there. We had the Dak Krimmels, out there Northwestern. I know you guys know about that Dak Krimmel. We had his brother Otis Krimmel. We had Josh Shedroff, Clint Dotson. And then you had Toomey Anderson. He's on the, as a freshman. Getting it in. Gotta learn my rules a little bit. So I was on the bench just chilling out. We're playing Chester High. They got John Linehan. We're at Lower Marion High School. The gym is packed. Chester crowds are all out there making all the noise. And I'm not on the bench. I'm chilling. But there's 2 minutes left in the game. They call Coach Fattinger. He calls Mr. Anderson to get in the game. Check Mr. Anderson in the game. The crowd goes crazy. I'm gonna say they went crazy because they saw me in the warm-ups and they saw that I had a lot of skill and they figured, what? Let's put him in the game. It had nothing to do with anything else that maybe I was the only black kid on the bench and they're all black Chester kids. That had nothing to do with nothing, but I went out there and got it done. I appreciate you bringing that up, Zim.
Were the rims, honestly, this is a rumor and I need to confirm it. Were the rims bent from all the dunks Kobe had? Because that's where Kobe played his regular season. That was his senior year, right?
That was his senior year, and I can confirm with you, my brother, the rims were definitely a little bit tilted down there in the lower area. It was definitely a little tilted out there, man. It is an awesome show here. We're here with the Northwestern's finest out here, the Zimmermans, Jason Zimmerman, the athletic director, and Eli Zimmerman, triple sport athlete out there at a Northwestern. Guys, real quick here, man. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about Northwestern, right? I mean, since you've been there, Zim, we'll go back to your days, man. Since you've been there, Zim, I mean, you're a staple in the Northwestern community out there. We gotta bring some things up out there, Jason. We gotta let the people know out there. You are a staple out there in the Northwestern community out there. Look at that for the people. Look at that full set of hair out there. Yeah. So
that's a Terry Stout cut right there. Do you realize that? That's a Terry Stout cut right there, buddy. Best flat top in the Lehigh Valley.
Terry Stout, the old general in the valley. But we have you out there. I mean, tell us about this guy, man. This senior out there at Northwestern. Tell us about your days, man, as an athlete, as a player, growing up in that area. Give us the people some insight about that.
Toomey, it's great. And listen, you weren't far off, okay? We're right up the road from Parkland, your alma mater, okay? And a lot of people actually compared us. They said, we were the Parkland of the late 80s and 90s. We're starting to grow, et cetera, et cetera. So listen, it's an awesome community, man. And I hear you talk about community. I see the good work you do in the city of Allentown for years, with running the summer hoop storm. Man, you are all about the kids. Northwestern's the same, man. Like, they're absolutely the same. You drive by on our way to the school, you see the rec fields and the outdoor basketball courts. They're loaded with kids constantly, and it takes a ton of adult volunteers, such as yourself, really investing in these kids and saying, listen, this is our future. It's just a fantastic place to raise your kids. You hear all the horror stories across the nation about, parent over-involvement and things of that nature. Listen, our success, it's a bunch of parents that are sending us great kids, and they're really putting trust and faith in what we're doing. To me, that's what it takes. They're letting the coaches coach. We have a fantastic group of coaches, and we got a really close-knit group of guys. Listen, the football guys were out at Cumberland Valley a couple weeks prior supporting the soccer teams. Our field hockey team were district and league champions, So again, there's just a lot of good things going, providing the kids opportunity. You provide the opportunity, okay, they will absolutely embrace it and make the best of it and work their tails off. And you put some good coaches in there to get the most out of them. Man, it's a recipe for success. Listen, whether it's Allentown, Parkland, Northwestern Lehigh, you invest in kids and you put your time in and work hard, good things happen. They really happen.
100%. We're here at the awesome show here. We got AD out here, Jason Zimmerman, and running back. Let's go. Let's talk to you. We're gonna come back to you here, Eli, man, because I've been watching you, Eli, man, and you know, Eli. I mean, you've impressed me, Eli. I'm gonna say it like that. You impressed me out there with a lot of different, things that you be doing out there. I mean, I'm gonna popping this up out.
You're on mute, Toom. There you go.
All right, is it video popping up? You guys seen this video?
Yep, video was great. Sound was great. Yep. Now we
Okay,
got
all
you.
right. You know, Eli, I mean, I can't see it's not popping on my screen right now, but I'm watching you out there, Eli. You got a lot of soul on you, brother. You got a lot of soul on you, man. I mean, Northwestern, not even just you. I mean, the whole team. I mean, you got the if you dum dum clap, the dum dum clap. I mean, the whole soul, the whole thing you guys got going on over there, Eli. This is not your normal cornfield. This is not your normal bunch of cornfield kids out there running around. You guys got a little pop in your little soul. In you. Tell us about the camaraderie that you guys are showing out there for Northwestern.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have a little swagger when you play. That's all I'm going to say there. But, you know, just playing with these guys, I've been playing with them since I was 4 years old. A lot of us have played all the way through the youth program, middle school, and then in the high school level. So, you know, we get to see a lot of each other after the games. They all come over to my house. We eat some dinner, just sleep over before we go to the film in the morning. So, you know, just having the brotherhood that we have here, I think is definitely a big thing in teams like this and winning championships like that.
No doubt, man. Mr. Coach Zim out there, he talked a little bit about the camaraderie out there. I'm gonna bring this up here, man. You guys had a lot of success this year with your teams. Talk to us a little bit from this team here. Your girls here, girls soccer team champions out there. Coach Jordan Smith led the group out there. Tell us a little bit about that group, the growth that they've had from grown up from small and making it all the way to champions.
Yeah, this group of girls, I'll tell you what, Toom, I wouldn't mess with them, man. They are some tough competitors. When they put their mind to something, there's nothing stopping them. You know, now you add Coach Smith in there, who's just the consummate professional and has the ability to get the most out of these kids. It's unbelievable. So that team was a combination of strong senior leadership and a bunch of underclassmen that. And what's common amongst all three of these teams, Toom, and you can appreciate this, they check their egos at the door. Okay, so you had some kids this year that broke some school records and local records and things of that nature, and they would have traded it all for the medal that they ended up achieving. So again, it's checking hey, next man up, next woman up. You know, whoever you ride the hot hand and get that W, you know. So the only thing that mattered to them was what the final score was at the end of the night. So, you know, again, just hard competitors, strong coaches, and kids that, you know, some of these kids, soccer is unique to them, you know, and I equate it to AAU basketball a little bit, you know, something in your wheelhouse. But, you know, when you play together with your teammates, okay, so these girls, and we'll talk about the guys, same thing.
Sure.
They made it a point to actually play together on some of these club teams that they play on. You know what I mean? So they're playing 9 months out of the year together. You know,
Right.
you're bound to know what each other's, you know, next move's going to be before they even know. So, you know, it just tends to be very supportive of a team sport concept. You know, there you have Coach Hunsiger, Toom, with his that's his second state championship.
Wow.
I should also mention, Mr. Awesome, that here's an awesome stat for you.
Oh, we like you dropping gems. We like gems, John, being dropped out here. Drop a gem for the people, Jason.
Here, all three of these coaches on these teams, they're all Northwestern Lehigh graduates. Okay, the Northwestern Lehigh graduates who played for us. They wanted to come back. They're now teachers in our building, and they wanted to give back to the programs that gave them so much in their life. So you know, between Coach Snyder, Coach Hunsker, and Coach Smith, man, they're all Northwestern grads. So they came back to their hometown and they live here. They live in the community. They're coaching youth sports, you know, in their free time. So it's pretty cool dynamic. Yeah, you'd love it, too. You really would.
Listen, man, I want to talk about that because my Eli, man, poor guy out there, man. My guy is strutting down the halls. You know, he's got his varsity black and yellow varsity jacket on, and then you're talking to your homies, and then you see the bald guy over there. The bald guy's over there in your way. Like, how is it walking down the hallways and seeing this guy always popping in your way, messing up your groove? You're trying to get your groove on. This guy's over here just messing everything up. Tell me about that. What's going on with that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always running into him. It's always a struggle.
Yeah.
No, I'm playing. But I mean,
be
honestly,
careful. I'm only a room away. Be careful what you say. I'm only a room away.
No, I mean, it's cool. I mean, just having him be a part of the program and, you know, part of the school and being able to run things as the sports sports part of the school. It's cool. I mean, he does a lot for the programs. I know the coaches really think highly of him. A lot of the people do. A lot of people are scared of him too, for very good reason. But honestly, I mean, it's an awesome thing just to have him be part of the school.
I mean, yeah, I would be afraid of this guy too, man. He's out there.
I'm a teddy bear. Come on.
I mean, he's out there all day. I mean, I'll be afraid of this guy too. Out there. I mean, he looks like a big boss out there. There's a big boss out there doing his thing. And look at that boss out there, man. I mean,
where's Hartman's gray hair in that picture? Where's Hartman's gray hair in that picture?
I bought that. I bought that one a little bit too early for the bus, man. For the other bus, I bought that one too early for the other one. But we're here on the Awesome Show. We have the Zimmermans on the show right now. We have Eli and Jason Zimmerman on the show right now. You guys, all right. Last thing here on the football tip here. So, I watch, I'm watching the games, different games. Jason, we're old school. So, we see, remember the U, they got the U out there, the U, the U. Every time the U's cuts out, they give them the chain, right? They got the nice chains and so forth for those guys scoring touchdowns. But over here in Nutrapoli, you guys have, it's a little different out there. It's a little different out there in Nutrapoli. I mean, you guys got chains. You guys, what? Oh man. You're gonna have to help me out here, guys. All right. So, what is going on with these antelopes? I keep seeing around here. And, I do my research out there. I'm around in a lot, and I mean, like I said, I see guys giving chains and celebration chains, and you guys come out here with this antelope. Help me out here, Eli. Tell me about this antelope. What is this about? What is going on here, E?
Yeah, so state title game, we played Avonworth, and their mascot was an antelope. So actually, our quarterback's mom, her parents, she went in the basement and she found the antelope head there, and she brought it to the game. And after the game, after we won it, we thought it was a good idea to take some pictures with it, post up with it with the trophy, just showing you, hey, look who we own now, right? And it was just kind of a cool thing that we did at the end of the game, and just a little cool prop that we had.
Oh man, like I said, it's a little different out there, in some places they got antelopes. They'll come out with antelopes and they bring the antelopes on the bus. You said the antelope was in her basement? Is that what you said was in her basement? It was in her basement. Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is, hey, listen, but what they're doing out there, obviously they're doing things right out there in Nutrapoli area. You ride up 309 and you intersect with Route 100 and there's all kinds of stuff. They got some things popping off over there in Nutrapoli, Weisenberg area of Northwestern. We're awesome here today to have Jason Zimmerman and Eli Zimmerman in the building here today for the Awesome Show. Just some awesome stuff out here. We're on a closing note here. Want to talk to you guys about talk about community. All right, you guys, your community is obviously a very tight knit community. You guys, you probably know the neighbors. You guys know the neighbors' kids. You probably know the neighbors' dogs, and everyone knows all that thing is very tight knit community. Is awesome stuff. But you guys show you guys how you guys were able to come together for each other during some tough times out there when your community had just a heartbreaking situation this summer. With our good friend, number 53, Tucker Wesner. Eli, I know he's obviously closer to you guys in age and so forth. Tell us about Tucker, man, and just tell us about him as a student athlete, as a student, and what he meant to the Northwestern team this year.
Yeah, I mean, when we heard the news about Tucker's passing, it really hit us hard as a football team. Tucker was always a great kid. He always knew how to put a smile on your face no matter what the circumstance was. And, just losing someone like that was awful. I mean, he was a big part of our team last year, being our scout center. He really kind of ran the offense for us and made sure that was one of the biggest parts, getting the snap back so we could run the plays that the other team we were trying to game plan for. So, I mean, just losing him as a player, it was an awful feeling. It was great to see us as the team come together, though, during that. We all unified. Bobby McLaren came in after that in the weight room, gave us a little pregame talk because he's been through it before. And I think that really helped. And then after that, we knew we just wanted to dedicate this whole season to him. We wear his number on our wrist tape. We have the flag we run out with. We carry his jersey out and his helmet. So, he was definitely there with us the whole season. We didn't have many injuries at all this season, which is the first in a while. And, you know, in the state championship game in that overtime period, we know he was definitely looking down on us.
No doubt, man. And Jason, man, from an administrative standpoint, you guys had you got students who are grieving, who are hurt, mothers, families, everyone's hurting down there. From your standpoint as an administrator, obviously it's a tough time for you. Just give us a little insight on how you were able to deal with that and support all these students and so forth, because that was just a touching situation.
Yeah, listen, we had a lot of support. We had a lot of help. Eli mentioned Bobby McLaren. You know Bobby well.
Yeah.
Tough as nails. And I think one of the things that Coach Snyder, Bobby, and I really wanted to drive home to these guys is and we've all suffered loss along the way and struggled with it at times. And we want to put on this big tough facade, and Toomey, you know this. It's okay to love, man. It's okay to love. It's okay to hug. It's okay to cry. It means you care. And it was brutal. Again, Tucker's one of those kids. Like he's there the summer prior installing a septic system at my house. With his dad and his business. So
wow.
That's how this community is.
Yeah.
You were fortunate and blessed enough to go through and have a very supportive community. That's how this is. And whether it's something good happening, hence the state championship, I don't think there was anybody left in New Tripoli. They were either at Cumber Valley, then they came back to Tiger Stadium to celebrate, or at Tucker's passing, something negative that happens and stuff. They all rally behind each other. Tucker's parents were at the game. They actually bought the team all hoagies afterwards. We're passing that out. So listen, it's like the mafia, once you're in, you can't get out, and that's a good thing.
Right.
I mean, knowing that you got each other's back and love and support, and it's okay to cry, man. It's okay,
No, man. And man, like I said, from the outside in, seeing your community come together was just was galvanizing and inspiring, and you can clearly see that on the fields that you guys were playing on, man. It's just some of those things happening was just not normal. Like I mean, I'll tell you what, this right here was not normal. I mean, I think my man Tucker, he might have had something to do with this here, Eli, man. I see you out there. I mean, look at this footwork here. I mean, look at this guy. You can't look at him. Can't talk. Look at it. I mean, it felt like Tucker might have been like whipping him out and whipping this guy out and pushing you through there, man. Eli, man, tell us where does this athleticism come from? Because I mean, Jason, listen, man, I know about you in the early '90s. Playing some baseball out there, and I think you might have been touch a little bit of basketball here then too.
I was terrible at hoops. I was a 5-man in a one guard's body. I couldn't dribble, but I had low post moves I could kill.
Hey, you too young for this though, but Eli, poor Jason. I remember. I mean, he got like guys like Bobby Suras out there putting on boom and doing all that.
3 times he dunked over me. GAR, baby. GAR. 3 times. 3 times he dunked over me.
You gotta heard him, Eli, man. You just heard stories on Bobby Suras from up north, play on Florida State, Cleveland Cavaliers, big time stud, and he was out there. I think they played Northwestern back in the day, and your dad, he got that business. He got that business handed to that business. He got that business. He got that work handed to him. Oh man, but we're here in conclusion here with the awesome show, man. I mean, Jason, man, you work hard, man. You work hard. I mean, you're just out there, just working, man. Every time I look, you're out there working. There's one time I caught you out there working. I was like, wow, man. He's really out there working.
I know exactly where that picture came from.
You're real busy out there, huh? Look at this here. Northwestern, this is your athletic director who's 3 state champions this fall. This is him out there grinding hard out there for the people.
Oh God.
Oh man. Hey Eli, brother, man. We really appreciate you coming on the show here today. Big game tomorrow against Caddy. sensational season. I'm already putting it out there. Listen here, you Pennsylvania State voters here. This is Mr. Awesome talking to all of you guys here. I am on here with the Pennsylvania, the 3A Player of the Year. I don't want to hear no ands, ifs, and buts about it. This guy right here is the Pennsylvania PA Player of the Year. I want to give some more shout outs too to those football players. My quarterback, Mr. Lay, my man Shane out there, the Mr. Drew Brees, he's got precision out there. That boy, how many interceptions did he? I mean, how many incompletions did he throw this? I mean, he might have thrown like 5 on the season. That boy, that Shane boy, he be throwing those darts, boom, boom, right in the target, that Shane Lay. You know, don't mess with him, man. And y'all gotta give shout out to your brother, man, Brady, man. Man, yeah, he's no sucker. He's no sucker. He might be a little young, but that boy out there, he be putting that crack on. He's gonna come out there and lay that crack on your defensive stud out there. Had an awesome season out there on the gridiron out there. And any other love you want to show out there? Show some more love, man. Give some more shout outs there, Eli, before you step out.
I got one. Nose guard Jackson Huber. You know, this kid, I mean, we didn't know what the heck he was going to be when he came out for football in 9th grade. And, you know, he just worked his tail off the past 2 seasons, getting back to where he was. And, you know, just seeing him succeed and being part of this team is just an awesome thing.
He's his own zip code. This dude's huge. He's his own zip code, too.
His own zip code.
He's what we call a 3-gap. He takes up 3 gaps, man. He's huge and strong.
Flexing on him, no doubt, man. Yeah, man. Appreciate you coming through here today, Eli, man. I'm gonna let you go get some rest. It's game time. You will be seeing Mr. Awesome. I will be out there on the scene, checking you out, making sure your crossover is on point, because that's the first thing. I will let you know that, you know, when you come up from the football field, come up to the basketball field. I'll tell you this. This is a former state. We lost in the semifinals. But coming off that football field and jumping around to the basketball court, there is some timing issues. You know, your handle is a little slow. You know, your jump shot, you know, is a little slow as well. So keep working on that grind, though, and looking forward to see you out there soon, Eli.
Heck yeah. Thanks for having me on tonight.
No doubt. We appreciate you having me. Appreciate you. We are here on the Awesome Show. We are live on the Awesome Show with right now we are joining here with Jason Zimmerman, the AD for Northwestern, the Tigers. All right. Jason, man, please tell us a little bit more. Give us some more background on you. Give us a little bit about your growing up days as a player, what positions you played, your coaches. Give us some shouts to some old Northwestern, the greats of Northwestern.
Sure. And to be honest with you, when I was a kid, I was running around the gym that you played in. Actually, you were in a new high school. So my dad was the athletic director.
Whoa, you roll there for. I'm old school, baby. I'm old school. I was you know what? I'm so old school.
Middle school, high school?
The last class in Orfield. So, you know, after Tome left, they had to build a whole new thing. They couldn't have any other high school in that. They had to build a whole new Taj Mahal to set it all up. You couldn't dare have, after Toomey Anderson left, you had to start something totally new out there. Start something totally new.
So you know, I was running around that gym when I was a youngin. You know, I obviously went to Northwestern Lehigh. I played for some awesome coaches. You know, I played for Bob Mitchell and his staff, you know, who I'm friends with to this day, you know, just like your coaches and you. Then I played for John Schmoyer, actually a Parkland grad. John Schmoyer and Chris Zuber, coaches in basketball. I wasn't very good at basketball. I came off the bench. I was a role player, loved every minute of it. We went to the state tournament where we ran into Bobby Sork, you know, and then the rest is history there. You know, and then I played baseball for Lenny Smith, and I love the experience. Went on to Bloomsburg. I actually played lacrosse at Bloomsburg. I went to play football. I walked in. I'm like, oh my God, these guys are huge. I'm like, this ain't gonna work. Ended up playing a little lacrosse. Came out of college. I worked a little bit for Lehigh County and then Upper Macungie Township. I got a call from Northwestern and said, hey, would you be interested in the athletic director position? And I mean, it was honestly a dream come true. And, you know, 25 years later, you know, here we are. And, you know, it's been fantastic. I'm not sure I could do this anywhere else. I'm pretty lucky where I'm at. I get good support, and listen. I'm a little bit unpolished, you know. You know, thinking you remember this, thinking outside the box in a position that you previously held. You know, we're dealing smack dab with COVID, right? And we're like, man, we're going to get these kids some time playing ball. You know, you picked up the phone. You said, Zim, what do you got? Can you play? I'm like, yeah, I can play. And here we are, our two schools who never would have thought we'd match up. We're playing basketball just to, to get these kids some opportunities. So, it's been a rewarding experience. I have a lot of great people on my staff that just they make my job easy. They're really good people, and we're going to keep going as long as we can. I think I'm more towards the end than I am the start, but we'll keep as long as I'm still effective and I can be effective. I can provide these kids and coaches with the resources they need to do what they do. I'll keep going.
Yeah, man. Well, we need you to keep going. We need you definitely to keep going out there, and we'll call it, out here in Parkland, in the Parkland hood, how we are, the big boys in town, that's how we like to walk around. Yeah, don't get mad out there, Mr. Hartman. Don't get too mad out there. Don't get too mad out there, Whitehall guy. Don't get too upset out there. All right, Northwestern guys. You guys, like I said, it's been coming up for a long time now. People have been talking about, the building that's been coming up there, people moving in there. And as far as you guys, your youth programs definitely continue to build, and the strength of them, the numbers that continue to go up in there. So it's definitely been building up there in Northwestern, and definitely been, it's been great to see. And we're looking forward to the more growth here, but we are being also joined here today, Jason, man. We are joined here today by Mr. Bob Hartman, the Whitehall Athletic Director and the Vice President of PIAA. Mr. Hartman, Bob, how you feeling today?
I'm good, too.
I'm
awesome.
Oh my goodness. Obviously, we have a rookie here, Jason. We obviously have a rookie here. You are on the awesome show, Mr. Hartman. When you're on the awesome show, you're not feeling good. You're not feeling great. You're not feeling okay. There's only one feeling you can have on the awesome show, Mr. Hartman. How are you feeling here today, Bob?
Well, I'm feeling awesome, and I was gonna add, I will awesomely not use as many cliches as Mr. Zimmerman did during his time. Right? We try to avoid cliches. Jason used the whole book. He checked off the whole book of cliches.
How do you spell that?
Check off the whole book, man.
How do you know what cliche means?
I think he spells it John Deere.
Oh man, we're all here, awesome show here. We have two PIAA, two District 11 representatives as well. But before we get into most of that, I want to. Oh, we got the dogs barking. The dogs are going off. You know how it goes. I want to talk to you guys about your schools and give us some of your all-time greats. All right. I mean, Northwestern. There's been some great. I think of Mr. Showers. All right, I think of Mr. Showers out there. Before I go, I even give my shout out to the Snyders, man. Coach Snyder, much love to you. Great job this season. Obviously his brother was a sensational player at Northwestern. So I want to make sure I give them a shout out. But I'm sure you might even mention them in your list here. Zim, I'm going to start with you. We're talking your top five. You know what? I'll even throw in the 6-man. We'll give you a 6-man, Zim. Your top 6 all-time athletes at Northwestern. I have some rules here, Zim. I have some rules. All right. Hey, they had to graduate from there. All right, had to graduate from there, and they needed to at least play 2 sports. Needed to at least play 2 sports at their time there, Zim. Talk to me. Talk to the Northwestern greats. Who are the greats from Northwestern?
Well, listen. I'm going to take 8, and I'm going to add another cliche. So they all have graduated because we pride ourselves in homegrown to them, and Bob loves that one.
No doubt.
But you mentioned Brett and Josh. Obviously,
sure.
They're synonymous. They're on the Mount Rushmore. And I got three guys and 3 girls. I got Josh Parrish. Okay, Josh Parrish played baseball, basketball, 1,000-point score. Went on to play for the Mets, then Lehigh. Ben Clymer. Ben Clymer went on to Hofstra, outstanding wrestler. I believe he was a state champion. If not, he was a state runner-up. And an outstanding football player for us on the gridiron. I got Sabrina Mertz. Sabrina Mertz was a phenomenal soccer player, great basketball player. Mertz went on to Lehigh to continue her soccer career. With her, that's graduated together with Sarah Segan. Went on to William Mary, played soccer, also an outstanding basketball player. Both those young ladies also did track, which was, they're just studs. Sarah Jones, many will remember.
Sarah Jones,
soccer player, but really made her mark in basketball. Went on to West Point.
Went to the Naval Academy, right?
I think it was West Point. Might have been. I think it was West Point. I'm pretty sure it was one of the service academies. I think it was West Point. but
I'm
I
gonna
could be
tell you,
wrong.
it was the Naval Academy. I used to coach. I had a kid. One of my players went to the Naval Academy. I think it was her boyfriend over there. How that stuff makes. Anyway, go ahead.
Right. And then I round out the list with Dana Stellar, outstanding female basketball player, outstanding cross country runner, went to run cross country at Lehigh. I mean, we've had several over the years, but off the top of my head, that was the list I came up with. Obviously there's people before them and there'll be people after them, but that's Northwestern's list.
That's a solid Northwestern list there. We tip our hat to you there, Mr. Zimmerman. Awesome list there, Mr. Hartman, Bob Hartman, the Whitehall legend. 19, I believe. You're a 90 guy, I believe. I want to say 90 or so. Yes. You have a lot of history going back from Whitehall. Please drop us some names here. Give us 6 names here. Dual sport athletes, Whitehall sensations.
Toon, when you gave me this homework, I thought this is really, really, really hard. I mean, I wrote down a list. It's going to be hard to keep it to 6, but I'm going to go through it quick. Give you a bunch of names. We have obviously on the female side, a blast from the past. Jeannie Millen, Matt's sister, was phenomenal in basketball.
Yes.
Could hit a softball 100 miles. Courtney Cunningham, most recently, all-time leading District 11 soccer player. She was a scholarship athlete in 2 sports at 2 different places, Division I. Sharon Tewald was a phenomenal female athlete at Whitehall. There's so many others. On the male side, probably when I've been a Whitehall guy, born in 1972. The name that everybody talked about was Barry Bookman, who went on to Penn State, basketball, football, baseball. Dave Schneck, we all know, was a 3-sport athlete.
Yeah.
Zoom, I think, didn't work for Dave Schneck back in the day at Hitter's Edge. Played for the Mets, was probably just as good in basketball and football. Here's a name, probably wouldn't pop up, but Mark Beitelman. Too, when I was a freshman at Whitehall, Mark Bides went against at Zephyr Gym, and I remember it was probably like Twin County back then. Mark Bides and Warren West put on a show in the Zephyr Gym. I think Bides had 35, Warren West had 34, and that's at a time when we only scored 35 in a game, but it was phenomenal. And then you got the Bonchaks, Mark Bonchak, Doug Bonchak, Jeff Buskirk, Ryan, Pat Bett, and of course Saquon was a phenomenal athlete. Danny Copen, Wank, Chris Raber, Sneak Slob. We just had a kid last year.
Whoa. Okay here, Mr. Hartman. Okay here, Bob. Hold up here.
I can't give you 5 or 6.
150 names here,
Bob.
I
can give you 100 easier than I can give you 5. So
you know what?
Yeah, we
all
just
right. While you name one of these guys here, I want to touch base on this guy here because I competed against this guy here, and man, I mean this guy was a horse, man. I mean, can you guys see that? Is that popping up there?
Yep.
Yeah. This guy, I mean, Dan Copen, all right, Super Bowl champion, Dan Copen. I mean, wow, he was a rock. I mean, Dan played football. I know he played football and basketball. I competed him, especially on the basketball court. And I mean, you try to run into this guy. This guy sets you. This guy sets you a screen, coach. Oh my goodness, you'll be lucky. Your teeth are in place. Your shoulders in place. Yeah. Dan Copen was this rock. I mean, he was as strong as a rock, but he was also athletic, man. He was very athletic. Could move his feet very well. Had awesome hands. I mean, he snatched that rebound just like this, one hand, throw up a full court pass down the court to Chad Schwenk, and I'm like, oh man, these Whitehall guys. But tell us a little bit about please, about the great Dan Cope.
Cope was awesome, man. He played in the NFL because of his feet, right? Like that dude could move. He played offensive and defensive line, but he ran the ball, scored some touchdowns. He didn't play hoops his junior year, but he came back his senior year. He was a great athlete. He got to the NFL because he was an athlete, and that was at a time like he went in to Boston College at probably like 250, played in the NFL at 280, 290. You can't play at that size anymore, and now he's probably back down to his 9th grade playing weight. I saw him a couple times in the past year. Awesome dude, great supporter of our athletics program, but he was a stud.
No question about it, man. The great Dan Copen. Shout out to you, Dan. You did a lot of awesome things out there, man. Zim, man. You're a lot going on here, Zim, man. I'm gonna time to slide you out here, let you slide off here. Before I let you go, though, Zim, man, we got Northwestern, a lot of pride out there. And I just want to let people know I make my way up to Northwestern. I make my way up there sometimes, and when I'm out there, I make sure I always see these guys, man. These guys out there, man. Yeah, the great Kuda.
Kuda told me he needs a new hat. He told me his hat. He can't find his Northwestern hat, so he needs a new hat.
He definitely needs a new hat out there, man. He's probably the guy next to him might have jacked it from him, though, man. Kuda, shout out to Kuda. I just want to give a shout out to my man Kuda out there. He's always on the scene doing his thing, man. But Zim, man, on a closing note, like I said, Northwestern continues to grow, and so forth. People always whispering and wondering. I see the Colonial League did combine with the Schuylkill League and so forth. Are there any grand scheme plans out there you got under your sleeves there about Northwestern? I mean, are you guys getting too big for the Colonial League? Maybe you want to talk to us a little bit about your situation over there.
Here comes Zim's sob story. Pay attention.
Listen. At the end of the day, we're a 3A school. You know what I mean? So part of my job is put our folks in a good positions. It's cyclical. As good as we've been, and been fortunate enough to be competitive. When does that run out? I mean, hopefully never. But again, at the end of the day, we're a 3A school and not getting any bigger. We actually plateaued and our enrollment's dropping. So some people say, Nazareth could do it, or you guys can come into the EPC and compete. I don't know. I just don't think. I believe our ones could compete. We're just not that deep, Toom. You know what I mean? So it's could our ones compete? Yeah. Would we be as successful? Maybe not. But to play the opponents like a Whitehall as a 5A plays week in and week out, I just don't know. Nothing against our kids. They try to rise to the occasion, I'm sure. But again, our twos and we just don't have a lot of twos and threes. You know what I mean? So we rely on staying healthy and for us to be successful. But as far as as far as Northwestern's concerned, we are pleased to be and honored to be in the Colonial League, and we got good good colleagues in that league. And
appreciate you joining us out here today. Much luck here. No doubt. Well, Coach Zim, man, we appreciate you joining us out here today. I don't know if I have a little lagging issues or so forth. I'm not sure if you guys are catching that, but we appreciate you coming on here. The awesome show, getting awesome. Hey, we'll see you guys soon out here this all winter.
Toom, thanks for having us on, man. Happy holidays, you and your family, buddy.
You good, Toom?
Excuse me. You there, Mr. Hartman?
I'm here. You got me?
Yeah, I'm here. Are you there? Are you there, Bob?
I'm here. I can't hear you, but I'm here. I got you now. Seems like you got a little lag going on there.
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can't. Yeah, you got.
Right.
I can, little lagging issues here. We appreciate here. We're on the awesome show. We have a live right now with the Whitehall athletic director. Of course, our trials and tribulations here of the internet. Take you out. Why don't you sign out, Bob, and then we'll sign you back in.
Okay. Where do I do that? Leave studio. How about that?
Lee Studio, and then we'll try to get you to check back in. Comments? Any comments out here by peoples? Let's see what we got. Maybe it's my time. Maybe it's Toom's time to talk, I guess, huh? So I'll see you real soon here, my peoples. Let's see what's going on here on the page here. Check 1 2 1 2. Bob here now. Gentlemen, welcome you back here to the awesome show. I think we got Mr. Hartman. Looks like he's coming back on the screen here. Oh, man. Man, you gotta be kidding me, man. It's all the trial and tribulations here. Technical difficulties, but we are getting it all lined up here. I think Mr. Hartman, Bob Hartman, will be joining us here live. The thing is, looks like he's trying to get him in here. I see it twirling. See it twirling around. See it twirling around. Device not connected. Too good to be true.
Here we go. Boom. I'm back in, Toom.
I'm about to go. All right. I think we're much better here, Bobby. Good?
All right, I'm good.
All right. Wow.
You good?
Appreciate you. Appreciate everyone's patience on that here. We're on the awesome show here today. Whitehall Athletic Director Bob Hartman, PIAA Vice President. Bob, man, Whitehall legend, Whitehall guy, been there since, like I said, graduated in 1990. I believe you're a Shippensburg. I believe I'm a Shippensburg, right? Shippensburg.
You are good at your homework, my man. I am a Shippensburg.
Indeed. Tell us about that journey, though, Bob, man. Going from Whitehall, what sports you played in Whitehall, going to Shippensburg. Give us a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, so I grew up as a kid who did a lot of stuff, like played football, wrestled, played a little bit of basketball, ninth grade, no lie, played for Glenn Nowak on the Whitehall freshman basketball team. and then knew my position in life was not on the basketball court. Went back to wrestling, played football, went to college for a year to wrestle at Del Val, transferred to Shippensburg, and been back here ever since. Really only was gone during that college time, but Whitehall's a huge part of my life.
You play with Glenn or for Glenn?
For Glenn. Glenn is way older than me.
Wow.
Well, he is way older than me.
Shit, that makes two of us. That makes two of us. I don't know if you ever knew, Bob. I was a Whitehall guy at one point in our career there. We had a little quick stay. We moved from New Jersey, and moved from New Jersey. We moved here to Whitehall. That was our first stop in, I think, 95, 96. And I mean, I had Glenn Nowak as a teacher, Tony Coca as a teacher, Mr. Grammis. I don't know if you go back that far. Mr. Grammis, a science teacher, awesome guy. God rest his soul. So we were in those Whitehall. Me and my cousin, my brother Tim Massacoy were those days. And then man, 8th grade. I was in 8th grade. He was in 6th grade. I remember Coach Nowak too. He said something about Coach Nowak. So Coach Nowak was a freshman coach, right? And summer leagues. You know, I'm like I was in Whitehall 8th grade. Summer leagues take me to White Liberty had the summer league up in that top thing up there. This is back in the early 90s. So Mr. Norris used to give me a ride all the time. And then all of a sudden I moved. My parents bought a new crib. I moved. And I was still calling for Glenn, I'm still calling for another. So he comes and picks me up. He's down by Target in Cedar Crest. He's like, Toomey, did you move? I'm like, yeah, it's only 10 minutes down the street. No. It's like, yeah, Toomey, I don't think you're going to be able to come to school here to Whitehall anymore. So there goes Parkland. Those Parkland people, they just come to Whitehall and just give me that. Get over here.
Rich get richer.
We're not going to talk too much about that part of that, but I do want to talk a little bit about your coaching staff here, Mr. Hartman, man. One of your coaches, one of my guys, man, James Middleton, your girls basketball coach. James, man, he's a former athlete at East. I'm sure you covered him at his time, and I'm sure you know a little bit about James. His background, his toughness. Just shine a little light on James. I know it's a little off top, but I want to give a little light on James and what he's doing over there with the Whitehall girls basketball program.
I really like working with James. I remember when we started through the interview process, we got a bunch of applicants, and I was like, James Middleton. That name sounds familiar. And then he had some experience. He was at L-Tri-C. We brought him in, and then I finally was like, are you the James Middleton who? He goes, oh yeah, I was that guy, right? And I'm very glad to be able to work with him. Like, he's got it figured out, right? He's on the great course for his life. We're glad to be able to be a part of it. He does a good job. He's working hard, like he's trying to build the program, and that's what we want, right? He's able to identify with our kids, and I watch him at practice, and I watch him in the games, and he coaches with a lot of passion. Sometimes we got to, cattle prod him a little bit, calm down, right? It's only a call, right? But I enjoy working with him. Right. I think he's got a bright future.
Yeah, man, James. Like I said, man, I think that's awesome, man. Giving opportunities, man. Someone like James has been in the area and has worked his way up. You say he started L-Tri-C, did some things there, and earned his way to this position right now. So you talked about. I want to talk about a little bit about that too. You talked about just exuberance out there. And like I told you, your time with PIAA. PIAA has made they're making a conscious effort. I'm pulling up a tweet here from PIAA. I don't know if you pull up to your screen here or not. About just acting accordingly and so forth. Is that popping up on your screen there, Bob?
It is, yes. Yep.
Yes. Talk to us a little bit. Give us a little bit about that. I mean, things again, a little hectic out there on the basketball, on the athletic scene with people criticizing officials and just acting abnormally. Talk to us a little bit about what PIAA is hoping to attain with our officials and treating players with respect and the sportsmanship.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, right? Our kids generally do a pretty good job. Like, we have situations where kids get out of line and officials have to deal with it. But unfortunately, the bigger issue is parents and spectators. They feel it's, much more, they're living their lives through what's happening on the court. They get out of control in some cases. I tell our parents, listen, if you're at a game and no one's sitting near you, you're probably the problem, right? People are embarrassed to be by you. And so we get pretty blunt with it at Whitehall. When you're yelling at a ref, you're embarrassing yourself, but more than that, you are embarrassing your children. They're embarrassed by your behavior as a parent. So we're not afraid to tell them that. Doesn't mean it stops, right? The passion that they have for their kids, like, I get it. I'm a parent. You're a parent. You understand the passion and the love you have for your kids. Doesn't mean you can act like a fool, right? Keep that somewhere else, because we really try to not tolerate it. It's just inappropriate, and that's what causes us to lose officials, right? It's not pay, it's not opportunities, it's ignorant parents who don't know how to act. And we got to do our best. We talk about this often in league meetings. We need to help manage our parents, and it seems like the younger ages, the more crazy people are. Middle school basketball is probably worse than varsity basketball, right? It's hard to hear some things in varsity basketball games with good crowds, because it's pep bands and a lot of people and a lot of cheering, so you don't hear the person yell, "You stink," right? You don't hear that. You hear it at a middle school game or at a junior high game when there's 30 people in the stands. So we hope our all of our parents across the board, across District 11, across the state, realize without officials we don't get to play. So stop your nonsense, right? Like, if we don't have officials to officiate games, we're not having those games. And now you really should be upset because you've ruined opportunities for your own children. That's a big part of it.
No doubt. So appreciate that, Bob, man. We got Mr. Hartman on the line here. He's not, he's more of a behind the scenes, he's obviously, but he not too often he's out there in front of the screen. We got Mr. Hartman on the screen here tonight, so we're gonna push him a little bit and get some things answered, get some clarity out there for people to really understand, Bob. So the football state championships just went down this past weekend. 6 classes. So we'll talk about 6 classes. And out of 6 classes, the reported attendance was about 10,000, between 10,000 and 11,000 people. I know back in your days, the 90s and even my days, the late 90s and so forth, those attendance, that 10,000 might have been at a championship game. There's the pundits out there, Bob. There are people out there that might say, "Hey, why are they doing that? Why are they playing in Cumberland Valley? They're playing in Cumberland Valley. You guys are out there favoring those guys out there. Why don't they just play the games in Philly, or why don't they just play it in Pittsburgh, or why are they playing all the way in Hershey or Cumberland Valley?" Tell us about that process, Bob. How does that happen?
All right. So every 4 years, I believe, and it's staggered between seasons. We just went through it for winter sports, right? For this cycle. Every 4 years, PIAA does an RFP process, right? They need to know where they're going for state championships, right? The big challenge always for in the playoffs up to a state championship is finding facilities. We always hear they're basketball play. Why are we playing at that gym? We should be playing here. Well, you know what? Where you think we should be playing, they don't want games. They're done, right? So it's availability. Obviously, with state championships, you hope that teams are from both sides of the state. That's obviously not always the case, right? Allen and Emmaus played for a field hockey championship probably 20 years ago at Allen because it was predetermined because there's an RFP process. And so we've done it at Whitehall. We hosted field hockey championships for 13 years. I think the first 13 years when we had our new facility, we put a bid in and we won the bid. And there's so many factors. Cumberland Valley is a phenomenal place.
It is.
The stadium, the locker rooms, everything about it is really, really good, and it holds 8,000 people. So imagine, and you know this. So go to Hershey Park Stadium that holds 25,000. What does the crowd look like then? Have you been in the locker rooms at Hershey Park Stadium? Right? You're probably, Toomey, in your era, it was not the Giant Center, it was Hershey Park Arena, right? I coached in Hershey Park Arena. Right. The chairs creaked like it was an old facility. So we want to balance great opportunities and great facilities and with location, and it's a process. It's not
a process.
It's a process. And the keyboard warriors who think, well, do this and do that, and the PIAA is corrupt. they don't know what they don't know, right? And what I can tell you is it's a process. It's a sealed bid. The bids get open, and the staff determines what's the best site. And then the board of directors, which is made up of 32 people, approves those.
It's not just you?
No, thankfully, it has nothing. I am one of 32 votes. That's it.
Copy that. Yeah. What would you say about that? I mean, like I said, game's going to be on Cumberland Valley. Great facilities. Just give us a little insight on like what is required. Like, all right, so you want to put his RFP in put his bid in. Like, what are some things that you have? Like, you just mentioned locker rooms. I'm sure there have to be a certain dimension, and you have to have a certain amount. Give us a little bit of insight on that piece.
Right. So, there's always, for basketball, for football, for football playoffs, in the playoffs, you must have turf. You must have a press box that can hold X number of people. You need to be able to hold the capacity of this many people. There's minimum requirements, right? And then there's obviously the financial piece, right? You said 10,000 people, 11,000 people, whatever the number is, buying a $10 ticket, okay? A $10 ticket, that's not a ton of money that PIAA is generating. Although people think the PIAA is getting rich off of high school sports, that's not the case, right? So when people say we should be playing at Beaver Stadium, do you think it's free? It's not free, right? Like, okay, so we have 10,000 people for 6 games in an 110,000 foot stadium, a 110,000 capacity stadium, right? Or why don't we play it at the Peterson Event Center in Pittsburgh, right? These places, you don't do it for free. You don't staff it for free. So in District 11, we try to put our kids in great facilities, and we want to just break even, right? Like, our goal is to not lose money. Yeah. We do a lot for our schools, right? We don't need to make money. We just need to not lose money. And so there's a process, there's minimums, there's minimum requirements, even in basketball for those first round home site games. It's like, must have at least 250 seats or whatever it may be, must have 4 locker rooms. Those types of things they're thought about.
That's just like a standard. I mean, people understand, like, you have to, those are just like the basic standards that you have to have, and then it goes from there.
And every place is different, right? Like in District 11, we have a lot of 6A schools. We have great facilities. In District 1, they have huge schools, but they have difficulty getting their schools to open their buildings to other people, right? It's like, all right, now we need to staff it. We need to hire people. And those costs are covered, but it's not just do what you want and everybody wants to do it. More people don't want to do it than do want to do it. But we're very lucky.
You know what, Bob, man? You know what? Hey, Bob. Hey, Parkland was just in the state playoffs. They were the 3 seed, and they had to play Emmaus, the 2 seed, and the game was at Whitehall. Whitehall is much closer to Parkland than Emmaus. Why are you playing the game? You guys are always favoring Parkland. That's what it is. You guys are always favoring Parkland, playing the game closer to Parkland than Emmaus. Give us that insight.
Yeah. So you know who makes those arguments, Toom? Adults make those arguments. People call me and complain, why are we playing here? I said, if you guys don't want to go, let us know. We're out. Our kids will get on the bus and go. Kids don't care where they go.
They don't care.
Right? The bus ride is the experience. It's part of the gig, man. Those arguments that you just said, they're valid. We hear them all the time. They're from adults. They're not from kids.
Sure.
Kids just want to play because they still understand what athletics, school-based athletic is, playing for your team. It's amazing when we'll get an email like, this game's 4 miles closer to this team than it is to us. 4 miles. Like, find something else to do, man. Like, you are wasting your time. You go on Facebook and type that, you know who cares? Not us. We don't care, right? It's not everybody's available. The site is not always equidistant, right? It's what it is, you know? But those are adult arguments. And I appreciate adult arguments. They just don't matter to us. Kid arguments.
Right. You know, I think the key is, like I said, that's why we're so happy to have you on here. It's just the people, is education, you know, just to understand what's going on. So you can quell some of those theories and so forth and knock that in. People just want to be educated on that and know some of the rules and all those kind of things.
Too, like, you're a basketball guy. Like, a lot of our championships are at Martz Hall. Place is phenomenal.
Oh my God.
Oh, Martz Hall's 45 minutes away. God forbid, it's 45 minutes away. So what? You know how many people they get for their school kill league finals? Almost 4,000. It's packed. It's awesome, right? It is awesome. School kill league basketball finals. And no matter what games there, girls, boys, whatever class, the place is mobbed because it's a great place. We want to put kids in those environments.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
So,
And I want to, commend District 11 too. I mean, that was at one point, I'm talking staying in the basketball world here a little bit. You go up north to District 2, they were playing their arena. District 3 was playing in Santander. District 1 was out like Villanova or Temple. District 12 was playing at and then District 11, we have great facilities. So, sometimes we take that, I won't say for granted, but we have so many great facilities that we're able to play those games there. But with the partnerships what you guys have, I'm not sure which health network partnered with the District 11. Which was that?
St. Luke's.
St. Luke's is
District
11.
St. Luke's
is LVHN.
Yeah.
So with that collaboration, you guys were able to do that for the students, put that in that kind of venue, and hopefully you guys are, like you said, you're breaking even at least, hopefully in that situation.
Right. It's because of partnerships too. We couldn't do it without, whether it's East Penn Conference in Lehigh Valley or District 11 and St. Luke's. Like, we can't go to PPL without that because we wouldn't get close. I mean, it's a $7 and $8 ticket,
right?
It's not $100 concert, right? So the expenses don't change, but the ticket price does. And so yeah, it's our goal of ours to put our teams in all sports in great facilities. We don't always have that opportunity, but our facilities in District 11 in our schools are really, like Memorial Gym, awesome at Liberty, right? Freedom. Easton, Hartman, like we have awesome facilities, right? That make themselves available to us, and it creates a great environment, right? We were really nervous about the Parkland Emmaus football game at Whitehall. Thought we might not be able to handle it from a size point. It scared us, but we handled it and talked to people there. They thought it was awesome environment for the kids, right? It was packed. It was 3 deep at the fence, and that's what the kids remember, right? It was thick. Put that same crowd in the 20,000 feet person stadium. Okay, it's still a good environment, but it's different, right? So that's
no question. And with I want Hartman talk about environments here, Bob. I'm in the media world and so forth. I love the environments, man. First of all, the crowds have been this year for the basketball games to start off to a good start. I mean, I was at your game against Liberty. I thought it was a good crowd there. I saw the Parkland game on TV, looked like a good crowd. But I want to talk, I always want to talk about expanding the game and opportunity. So our girls, talking about our girls, girls basketball, especially specifically here, doubleheader. Talking about doubleheaders. When you're talking about growing the game, I think boys and the girls game, when they're there together in the same gym, a lot of energy. Media is able to come. The girls, they feel the energy from the boys game. The boys feel the energy from the girls game. You're able to get a lot of school spirit in there. I understand, obviously, there are issues with that. There's a freshman game, there's a JV game. A lot of things got to get middled out with that. Got to get figured out with that. Tell us a
I might have lost you too, but you asked, I don't know if people can hear me. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate that. I think Toomey got booted. I just texted him, see if he's going to make it back.
I'm coming, Bob. I'm coming.
I'm good.
I'm here. All right, Lord. Oh, apologies once again, my peoples here. It's a little technical difficulties here in the Awesome Studios, but we are here live on the Awesome Show with Whitehall's athletic director and also the PIAA vice president, Bob Hartman. We were getting to some things here. Bob was dropping us some knowledge here on the how sites are picked for district championship games, for state championship games. Bob was also now getting into
boy girl double headers. Boy girl double headers.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the double headers. Yeah, we're talking about the media aspect, trying to build excitement for those students. Give us some insight on that, Bob, on what's your outlook, what's the district, the league thinks about those situations on possible more boy girl double headers.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about these things. Probably, I don't know what league it was when we did do it much more. We can do it now in like the county setup that we're in. It really works best when it's a county school that you play twice in a year. And then you do it both times. You play the team, right? One time the boy-girl doubleheader, let's say Whitehall Parkland is at Parkland. The next time it's at Whitehall. And you can do it if you're creative. Quite honestly, we probably haven't made a good enough effort to do that. Some people don't like them,
Sure.
whether it's coaches or athletic directors. But again, like we really should try to consider what's best for the kids. We got into certain situations where we did boy-girl doubleheaders. We always did the girls' game first, and then people wanted to do the girls' game second. There's some challenges with that. And then it's the sub-varsity games. Where are they going to be at? Those are the things that we need. We probably should be considering much more. I would take that as a fair criticism of what we're doing. But it works best. Like we have a 3-county model. It can work within the counties. It can work.
No question. Yeah, like I said, I mean, just in that world a little bit and dealing with some of that, it could be a scheduling nightmare. People just flick a switch and put the boys and girls and everything works. You got officials and it's a lot that goes into it. But I think you hit a point though. I memean, the kids, like you say, it's about the kids. And the kids are really, could thrive off of something like that. So it's good to hear you say, possible. You guys are open to look into more.
Here's the reality, Tim. You just said, like, it's hard. That should not be the reason we don't do it, right? We're athletic directors. It's our job to schedule things appropriately. Because it's hard shouldn't be a part of the factor, right? Like that should never be a part of what we're doing in our jobs. Like it's about, so what if it's hard? Let's get it right. So that's the thing.
I appreciate that. So there's the message out there. Hopefully we can see more of that. And, another one other thing too, I just came up to mind about these opportunities. The Special Olympics. You guys hosted Special Olympics a couple years. It's a great event. I think it's in April, May, springtime. Massive students come. A lot of support from everybody, man. It's an awesome day. During my time at Allentown, we got involved with the not inclusive. What's it called? The
Unified. Unified.
I'm sorry. Wow. Thank you for picking that up for the unified sports, which gives an opportunity for all students. We're education. We're in education. Our job is to try to make avenues for all students, all abilities, and so forth. Like I said, that was some schools are doing a unified. I know at Allen we started a unified track. Deerfield got the bocce team. Salisbury has a team with some other teams. Is that something that I think as a district, as a league, that we can hopefully get more teams, more schools involved in that to give those opportunities? Because I think it's a really great way when you say unified to have the students who are in the general education also participating with the students who are in the special ed, and on the same team. They compete together. They go to Hershey for championships. Awesome stuff. Give us some insight on that, on what you see of that growth with possibly with EPC teams.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's something that we talked about yesterday at our board of principals meeting with our leagues. Right, there's some challenges with it. We are fully in support of Special Olympics, and Unified falls under the Special Olympics umbrella. We love hosting the Special Olympics at Whitehall. They hosted at Liberty, and they hosted in Nazareth, and it is a great, awesome day where we are pretty much shutting down that side of campus to make a great experience for those young men and ladies to have a really cool environment. And Unified's a part of that. I got a question a couple weeks ago. Are these PIAA sports? Unified is not PIAA related. It falls under the Special Olympics umbrella. But there's a lot of things that go into the unified part. There's financial ramifications. There's, if you have unified track and field, how does it affect your regular track and field team? Not everybody is like the big red machine in track and field with 350 kids, right? Most track and field teams are 50 to 60 kids, right?
Yeah,
and so you don't want to necessarily lose kids, but really, we always look at stuff like that. We talk about it, we vet it, and see what's, it's a local school community decision. We've been in the tank for a long time at Whitehall thinking about unified. So
no question, man. We're all here live. Bob Hartman, Whitehall AD, PIAA Vice President. Bob, man, speaking of the league and so forth, the league, the EPC league, how long that's been formed now? I know there's some breakups in the past, the Mountain Valley, and how long has the EPC here been together now with was it 18 teams? Got the North, the South, how long has that been?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm an old man. I'll guess probably 8 years or so now.
8 years or so.
But I could be off by a few either way. We've been together with a lot of the same schools for my entire career, right?
Yeah.
And when I started, it was the LVC, right? And then the evolution and all of those things. And I really like what we have now. I think it's geographically, some people don't like driving, but so what? Right. It doesn't matter if you go north or south, if you're going an hour and a half, what's the difference? So, I enjoy it. I think the competition in some sports is phenomenal. Boys basketball, girls basketball, it is a good competitive league, right? You could pick probably any of the half a dozen teams that could win boys basketball championship this year.
100%. I mean, definitely teams be out there competing. So you talked about conferences, obviously. You look at the colleges, how they're set up now, these mega conferences, Big Ten, as you see. So obviously football aside, because football, you can't, there's 10 games, there's only a certain amount of time. Oh, what's up, doggy? What up, doggy? Only a certain amount of games. But conferences, usually when you see a conference, it's more like a once around system. Everyone's playing around. So let's think you talk about baseball, basketball, soccer. What's the take on that? Because there's the peoples and some people in other areas like, hey, this we all right, let's look at Allen, for instance, or Parkland. And we have to play Parkland and the Mayors 2 times, and this team only has to play this team, so, and there's differences obviously in the levels of skill competition. So when it comes to the playoffs now, so let's take basketball, for instance. If I'm a school at Allen, I have to play some of these higher level teams multiple times. That hurts me from making the playoffs, when as opposed to, in another division where the teams are not as competitive, and maybe a team that maybe is not as good as some of the other teams gets in. What's your take on that with the league playing once around, moving towards that format?
Right. So this is obviously, You've been in the room before. You may have heard that term once around. It's a term that, for some of our sports, it works, right? But I personally believe in sports where we have 18 schools in 3 divisions of 6. There are schools that absolutely want to play teams in their division twice, right? The Monroe schools, they want to play. East wants to play West twice. Whitehall wants to play Parkland twice. Freedom and Liberty, they're playing twice. Allen and Deeriff, they want to play twice. So I get the once around concept. I don't always agree with it. I don't agree with it in basketball, and baseball, and softball, where we have 18 schools in 3 divisions of 6. There's natural rivalries based on geography, right? I want to play Emmaus twice. I want to play Central twice. I want to play Parkland twice, right? Like, we understand what we're up against. Sometimes the argument is about the competitive nature of it, right? But if we're good, that's on me. That's not on the league to bail me out, right? If we struggle, that's on me and our administration and our coaches to get better. Sometimes there's huge challenges with that. I'm not dismissing that, right? I understand every school has different challenges, but most of our schools have challenges, right? So we need to look internally sometimes. We do once around in field hockey because I think we have 13 schools. So it works, right? In some sports, it can work in every sport. There's too many schools that don't agree with the concept when we don't have to have it, right? I get it, but we're not. I mean, as long as I have some say at Whitehall, we're not going to be in support of once around in the sports that we don't have to be. Some sports we have to be, and I understand.
Yeah, obviously there's some of those debates are definitely. Everyone's looking out for their school's best interest and what they feel is best for them, and so forth. So, and that's what your job is. You better be looking out for Whitehall, what's in Whitehall's best interest for sure. And I'm sure, my guys up north will be doing the same thing as well. So, Mr. Daly, look out for his guys up there in East North and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, but the reality is, I need to look out for the best interest of Whitehall. And competitively, that may not be what we're doing in 3 divisions. It might be once around, right? But that doesn't mean it's the right thing for the league per se, or for all of our schools. Like, my job is to take care of Whitehall. My job is also to take care of the league, right? And they're 1A and 1B. Whitehall's priority, but too often we dismiss what helps the league, right? So I think I get it. But yeah, I think you're on point. You've talked, you know what you're talking about with that. Some sports it works. I mean, some sports it doesn't. Allen wants to play Central. Allen wants to play Central and hoops twice, right? They want to. They want to play Deeriff twice. They want to play Whitehall twice. I hope we want to play them twice. So.
And my thing on that, Bob, too, like I was, saying, I mean, you hit it on the button. I mean, the league can't bail you out. If you live, we live next to these schools. Yeah, those are schools you gotta play though, man. Those are schools you gotta play. You can't kind of run and dodge that. I'm like, hey, you live 10 minutes from Parkland. Yeah, you should be playing them multiple times. You should be playing them. So you can't, when you're airing your area, it is what it is. I get that. I always understood that debate. That piece of it is like, dude, you're playing them. Yeah, you're right down the street. You should be playing them. So I totally grasp that piece of that. Last thing here, Bob. We talked real quick about the class. 6 classes, the championships, 6 classes. That changed, man. Back in Toomsday, back in my day, we had 4 classes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. That's changed in the last, what was it, about 10 years or so? That's changed.
About 10, yeah.
6 classes and so forth. Some people feel that has diluted maybe the championships and so forth, diluted things in that nature. What's your point on that? Going 6A, why do that? Why change it from 4A to 6A? What's the logic behind that?
It was a lot of talk, and I understand those arguments as well. And I would just sort of go back to, I mean, it's more of a bigger school issue that 6 classes exist than a smaller school issue. You just had Eli and Jason on. Do you think they care what class they want a state title in? They don't care. Right? 3A, 4A, 1A, they want a state title. And so part of the argument is like, we can get a few more teams, right, every year.
More acknowledgement.
An opportunity to win those championships because they're really hard. They are really, really hard to win state titles. You need to be good. You need to be lucky. The circumstances need to align, right? But 6 classes also has created challenges, right? Watering down is, again, it's the adult argument, right? We watered down our championship. But Eli Zimmerman, he doesn't give anything. It doesn't matter to him what state title he won, right? And what his classification is, because it doesn't matter that he will likely be the 3A offensive player of the year. He doesn't feel any worse that he wasn't the 6A, right? So, like, again, it's the adult argument to the kid argument. I get the adult arguments, right? It's really hard because I think this is a big part of it. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, it's not balanced on where the big schools are and where the small schools are, right? In some class, like one class, we have 3 schools in a classification. We don't want it to be that way, but it's based on enrollment across the state, not in the district, right? And so we are top heavy. Like District 11 is pretty balanced, but if you go to District 1, which is huge with 100 schools, most of them are 5 and 6. They have very few 1 and 2, right? And if you go to Pittsburgh, there's more 1s and 2s and 3s than there are 4, 5s and 6s. So the demographic across the state and the classification, it's not balanced, and that causes local problems. And I think it's the local problem rather than the state problem that is the issue with increased classifications. But kids don't care where they win it or what they're going to celebrate and hold the trophy high no matter what the class is.
I aspect the point too. I love I'm a Mr. Positive. I'm like, hey, I'm a participation thing, but more opportunities to give students an opportunity to feel good. 10 years from now, Bob, you're gonna be, I want a state championship. You're not gonna say I won a 1A or 2A. I want a state championship. I got that goal, and that's what we're gonna remember down the line. We're gonna be talking about. So, I fully hear that piece of it as well on that. We're here live on the on the Awesome Show with Mr. Bob Hartman. Bob, man, on some closing notes here, man. I want to give a shout out to, first of all, you have some things going on here. I want to just, touch base on that. Your Whitehall is on a zoom up, man. I go to the Whitehall, man. They got all these new gadgets out there, all kinds of new toys and stuff working out there. I'm gonna pull one of your new toys up if I have it up here still. Oh man, but you guys have new scoreboards and so forth, all the new boards up. Give us a little bit of insight about what's going on there with what you got going on with that, the opportunities that are available out here for other teams out here in the Lehigh Valley.
Yeah, right. So, we love to, obviously we want to compete with everybody. It's hard in some cases to compete, but we want to put our kids in a good environment to compete. And we like hosting things so that other people can experience the great support we've had. This is all partly because of our sports medicine partners, where this funding comes from. Our taxpayers are not, burdening us with, it's not burdening them with what we're doing. So that's awesome. But, for us, it's a great environment. I mean, you were there last Thursday. We have the videos and the walkouts and the introductions. And Tuesday night, we turned the lights off. And when we did the player introductions, and tomorrow night at our girls' game, we're going to do the same thing. It's the experience. And I go back to this, sometimes it's loud. The music's loud in our gym. And I hear people say to me, turn that down. That music's terrible. And my response is, ma'am or sir, we're playing it for the kids. Right? I don't necessarily like it all either, but they're the ones playing in the game, right? At football game, we have a DJ, right? He is playing 2024. He's not playing 1978. And some people don't like it. Right?
No YMCA?
Yeah. We're not playing it for, again, the adults, right? It's about the great environment that we put our kids in. So we're very proud of it, right? And we want to keep enhancing it. We're going to keep trying to get better at it. And we want, for us, it's adding it to our curriculum. So our kids who may not be athletes, they're doing video work and they're creating content. And, they're not showing pictures like you're popping up right now for me from 2024 when I had no gray hair, right? Now I have all gray hair. So yeah, that was one of my first couple of years. You see my daughter in the background. She's 19, right? In one of those pictures. She's 19 right now, and she was probably 1 there. So that's how long ago that was.
Oh man, I mean, I just had to get you out there. You're working,
Yeah.
man. You're out there working the scene out there. Look at you, man. I mean, look at you working the phones, making the calls. I mean, this is how it all started here. This is how it all started. Moving up the ladders from a social studies teacher out there,
Yeah.
social studies teacher, to now the athletic director and vice president of the PIAA. So,
coaching and teaching
man,
Bart
Mr.
Cooper.
Hartman, man.
Coaching and teaching Bart Cooper.
There's a Bart Cooper, shot the bomb Bart Cooper reference out there. You thought he was scrambling, wrestling. He used to try to wrestle. He's a wrestler. You out there scrapped a little bit for you, huh?
He's in the Toomey bloodline. He's a great kid. I enjoyed him. He had just moved to Whitehall and became a part of our program, and he's awesome now, man. That dude is talented.
Yeah, I mean, also you want to get about Whitehall. Don't forget number 18, James Freeman. I don't know if you remember James Freeman out there, our running back from Whitehall. Yeah, man.
He's
all
a
in
great
there.
kid. Yeah, he's
Awesome
in LA
kid,
now.
man. I mean, when I meet the Whitehall guys, I used to, the guys, Javon Tatum, Ray Grant, Jay Ho. Like that was my era of Whitehall glory right there. Those guys right there, they said that, Javon Tatum, I think it was a running back, Javon Tatum, I believe his name, right?
Yep.
Number 21.
Javon Tatum was a phenomenal player. Yeah.
Phenomenal player.
Yeah.
Indeed.
James Freeman, phenomenal. Ray Grant. Yep. Jay Ho, huge business guy now in Philly and Allentown, restaurateur.
Yes, indeed.
We're really proud of those guys who take some of the values that we try to instill and become great adults, right? Like that's the goal for all this stuff.
Indeed, man. And awesome job, man. Mr. Hartman, man. Bob, I really appreciate you getting awesome with that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yell at you, get at you to start the show like that. I apologize. I mean, you gotta, I had to make sure I gotta get your mind right. But I want to give a shout out to my guy Jeff Jones out there, longtime Whitehall basketball coach. He's been there. I mean, baseball. He's a baseball guy. If I remember his son used to play baseball. He's a baseball guy. Still doing great things. He beat my Trojans the other day. I was biting my. That was a great win. I was like, man, this Whitehall. Why is it that Whitehall? We always give us problems.
First time in a while, but we want to play them all the time. We're never the favorite when we play those guys, but it makes it a little sweeter, And Tuesday night, our kids played really passionately on the defensive end, which changed a lot. Right. Parkland's going to be really good. It was a blip in the radar. We just played well. They didn't shoot well, but I'm sure next time they're going to shoot lights out and we're going to be in a tough situation. So it is what it is. We're just proud of our kids and our coaches. And, Jeff does a great job. It's there's a guy, like if you were talking to someone from Northern Lehigh, he was a two-sporter. That was awesome. Right. Okay. Great basketball player at Lycoming. Great baseball player, played well into his adult life. So,
I like these gems.
You guys live it. Yeah.
We like these gems here, man. So appreciate your time today. We're going to do this again, Mr. Hartman. We're going to do this again, Bob, man. We're going to do this again. We're going to bring you out here. Look at that, the smiley face. We got him smiling out here today in the cameras. He's out here today. We're going to bring him out here, give the insight to the people, let the people know, hey, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's not a theory. There are processes and there are rules. And that's why, he's here to give us those explanations of that. So we graciously thank you today, sir, for that. Next time I'm going to get on you about the shot clock. You're going to have to explain to us about the shot clock.
No worries. We can talk shot clock. We've always, Whitehall, we've always been good with the shot clock. People don't think we're a shot clock, but we've always, here's the argument, man. We always thought we could defend for 30 or 35 seconds. We can defend for 2 minutes. We can defend for 35 seconds, right? So give us a shot clock. We'll do better on the defensive end.
I didn't want to take that. You could defend. You could also defend for 4.5 overtimes too if you need to. You can
Jerry Lloyd can make a half quarter to win, right?
You could have Jeremy Berg 6'11", win the jump ball, hold the ball for 4 overtimes, and then you can do. Whitehall has been known to do that too. I was there. I witnessed that. I was there. I saw that.
Yeah, let me know, man. I'd love to come back. You did not lay any landmines for me. I didn't step in any landmines. I'm glad to come back.
We kept it cool with you, man. I appreciate this, man. Thank you so much for joining us here today, getting awesome with us. And I will be seeing you in the gym soon, Mr. Hartman. And make sure that band is playing. I love that band. Keep that band playing and keep those videos rocking. Keep the gym excited. Let's do it, baby. Let's keep it going.
Hopefully we'll see you over Christmas. We play Northwestern, Eli Zimmerman, but on December 27th, and we're retiring the all-time leading scorer at
I
Whitehall.
didn't even stop on that, man. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Please, Pilasicki jersey retirement, December the 27th, I believe, right?
Yep. Between we have our normal holiday tournament. First game's Nazareth, who's playing really good basketball against Delco Christian. It's a strong program. And then we play the state football champs and the nightcap. In between those games, Pete Lasicki, who is a dude, right? Like, great guy, phenomenal player. We're going to hang his jersey on the wall. We're excited for that.
Wow, man. I mean, that is going to be – I mean, you better get to Whitehall early that night because when you hear Pete Lasicki's coming to town, Whitehall versus Northwestern, that's going to be an exciting, packed, great atmosphere out there on December the 27th at Whitehall. Real quick, is there any other jerseys? I think you have Matt Millen. What jerseys are retired?
No, Pete will be the only second basketball jersey. It's Pete. It will be Pete and Scott Coble are the two basketball. And then in football, our three NFL guys, right? Danny Copen, number 77. Matt Millen was actually number 83 in high school, and Saquon was 21, right? So it'll be a fifth jersey retirement. There's more that are out there for us we need to do. You know, we talked about like a Jeannie Millen on the girls' side, and Mary Lasicki, right? Like,
Mary Lasicki, Georgetown. Oh, man.
Could shoot it. Kayla Cunningham in soccer and field. So it's on the horizon. Those things are, we're getting better at this stuff.
Awesome, man. It's awesome. Well, you guys always Whitehall always does a great job of celebrating their greats, whether they're coming from some Menton or Hackendakwa or Copley or Shad Avenue or Egypt or Fullerton. Those guys, they're always keeping their tradition strong and living giving props to their legends and so forth. So we appreciate a legend like you joining us here today, Mr. Hartman. We will be seeing you soon, December 27th at Whitehall. Stay awesome. Appreciate you here tonight.
Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for the awesome show.
All right.